Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be 11 relationships reading for the end of February 2023, looking at you and the person that you are connected to, that you are needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of this connection. We've got your energy toward the connection, their energy toward the connection, and then the energy in between the connection. The concept for this reading is that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your perception slash version of the truth, their perception slash version of the truth, and then this higher level unbiased truth here in the middle. I have the overall energy for the reading. We'll dive into a different tarot deck for each side of the reading. And then I have an advice card to pull at the end. I do encourage you to think outside of the box when it comes to these readings. This might not just be about a romantic connection. This could be a friend, a family member, anyone that you have a personal connection to that you might be having troubles with or feeling triggered by. And ultimately, might be needing to learn some sort of a lesson here. Everyone is put in our life to teach us something. So, take it as it resonates, but, do try to think outside the box a little bit. I have a dog here. We're watching my mom's dogs right now, and so we have 4 dogs in our house right now. Okay. Sagittarius, on this side of the connection, you have on your side, and last thing is you might end up resonating more with the energy to my right than to my left. If that's the case, that's totally normal. These energies can absolutely be swapped. Okay. On Sagittarius' side of the connection, you have the end of a tough cycle approaches with deja vu. You've been experiencing a cycle, maybe not just with this connection, but with other connections as well, where it just feels like things, like the deja vu, like things just always kind of happen. And you're like, I've been here before. Like, I've experienced this before. I've seen this before. And I feel like there's that energy of like, you've lost a lot of hope in connections because I feel like you're tired of things ending up like they always do. And so I feel like this is a lot about some sort of a cycle ending and some sort of a rebirth here. I mean, obviously, you do have the end of a tough cycle approaches, but then the overall energy for the reading is new life with death here. So this is interesting to me because this death card, I don't necessarily know if it's talking about the connection or if this connection pushed you to some sort of like potential spiritual death, or like it almost feels like the death of a different version of you and stepping into a new life, and something about how this connection has had something to do with that. I don't know if this connection was part of the death or part of the rebirth, but we will definitely see here. This person, they have the answers you need are coming with compassion. This person is actually, I feel like they're struggling to know what to do about this connection or with this connection, or what to even think about this connection. With compassion, I actually feel like that's an energy that they're being pushed to have, not an energy they do have. Like, I feel like this compassion card is kind of saying they are struggling to see this connection through the lens of love. So I feel like there's a little bit of ego involved here. But we'll obviously get more information on that. I ultimately feel like this person's like might be just as lost as you are when it comes to this connection. In between this connection, you have expect powerful change with abundance. Now, the truth of this connection is, for me, it's kind of, what is this connection trying to teach you? What is the truth behind the circumstance, not the circumstance in general? So I'm not sure if this is talking about abundance with this in this connection, or if this connection is pushing you to a new life to find abundance here. Either way, I feel like there's a pretty powerful change that's going to happen within this connection that's going to help you essentially move forward into some sort of a life of abundance, or I don't know. I don't necessarily know exactly what this is saying yet, but let's get further insight. This is going to be for Sagittarius' side of this connection, clarifying the end of a tough cycle approaches with deja vu. This is Sagittarius' side of the connection, please. Sagittarius' side of the connection. What is Sagittarius dealing with in terms of this connection? Okay. This Sagittarius has a lot to do with your need to implement stronger boundaries. Maybe you had a tendency of letting this person step over your boundaries, or maybe this person is teaching you how to set healthy boundaries. Either way, I feel like this has a lot to do, because the Page of Swords in reverse, this to me feels like you've lost a lot of, oh my goodness. Okay, hang on. I want to clarify this Page of Swords in reverse first before I keep talking. Clarifying the Page of Swords in reverse on Sagittarius' side of the connection. Huh, okay. Page of Swords in reverse on Sagittarius' side of the connection. The Ten of Cups in reverse with the Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay. I feel like you've lost a lot of your hope for whether or not you're going to be able to build a connection that makes you feel good about yourself in your life, because I feel like you've experienced a lot of connections that have done the opposite here. There is something about needing to set boundaries, but I also feel like that ties into some feeling like if you set boundaries, or if you set boundaries maybe with a specific person, that you're going to risk losing them, or you're going to risk missing out on opportunity. Either way, there are some unrealistic expectations when it comes to this connection that are leading to confusion. Now, when I talk about unrealistic expectations, that does not mean that what you are wanting out of a connection of this sort is unrealistic. It more means that what you are wanting from this person is a little bit unrealistic. I don't necessarily know what that means yet, but I feel like there's this level of losing this belief, or struggling to believe that you're ever going to get what you deserve when it comes to these types of connections. This is Sagittarius' side of the connection. And I feel like that's the cycle that's ending, because I feel like you've experienced so many of maybe failed connections or loss of connections or whatever the case is, that you struggle to believe that there are people out there that you are going to be able to feel that kind of soulmate, I feel like I belong kind of connection. Sagittarius' side of this connection, please. This is a connection that is from your past. This isn't a new connection. This is a connection from your past. And it did not treat you well. With the King of Cups in reverse, there's some potentially some emotional manipulation here. And there's that Seven of Wands in reverse. There's like an action you need, like there's boundaries that you need to set here in terms of this connection. There's an action that you need to take in terms of setting boundaries. Because I feel like this connection will continue to always kind of come to the same outcome in a way. Like this deja vu is like you can always expect things to be the same. I don't know exactly. Okay, hang on. Sagittarius' side of the connection. So this is a connection from your past. And it could be one that you're not in contact with right now, that you're not in communication with, but you're still needing to learn from. Yeah, because it's one it's kind of like you're stuck on it. Like whether or not you want to be, it's kind of like you're stuck on it. Because I feel like this is a connection that ended. What is that? Because whatever you're stuck on about this connection is not allowing you to move forward, because this is about creating a new life for yourself. A better life. And maybe you're already working on that, but this connection, or like the experiences you had in this connection, are still kind of messing with that. I mean, these are two cards of being stuck, of not allowing, of not moving like with the flow. And so I feel like there's this level of being stuck on this connection for some reason, but I ultimately don't feel, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. This is Sagittarius's side of this connection. Sagittarius' side of the connection. Yeah, because there's triggers involved here. This connection is triggering a part of you that it almost feels like Oh, it's triggering your belief. It's triggering your belief that you're never going to find the love you ultimately deserve, be it in romantic relationships, friendships, whatever the case is. It's really triggering that. I want more on this Knight of Cups in reverse, though. I want clarity on this. Clarity on this Knight of Cups in reverse, please. What is this triggering for Sagittarius? The Four of Cups in reverse of the Artist. I mean, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, kind of this, it's like your focus is so much on the fact that this didn't work out, because specifically this connection not working out triggers your belief that you're never going to find a connection that does. It triggers your doubt in your manifestation. The doubt that you're ever going to be able to create whatever it is that you're ultimately deserving of. Because I feel like this was the end of a connection that didn't treat you well. I want to clarify the Six of Swords in reverse here. What is Sagittarius stuck on? What is Sagittarius stuck on about this connection? You have the Moon, so fear. And it's fear that, I mean, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse to me is like a card of reevaluation. A card of needing to see things. Like, I feel like you're seeing this connection through the lens of fear. And that's the fear that what you're ultimately wanting is never going to come to fruition, right? Clarifying the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The Five of Cups in reverse. This is almost like, actually, I want one more, because the Five of Cups in reverse, it's like, it's, hang on, clarifying the Five of Cups in reverse. It's almost like releasing the idea that you've lost anything at all, because in fact, it's quite the opposite. There's the Justice. That's what I was going to say. It's quite the opposite. This is you finally being able to get what you deserve, because I feel like this whatever is going on with this connection, the scales are imbalanced. There's not a balance in, say, karma, right? Just for lack of a better word. And it feels like the reason for that is because it hasn't fully ended. It's ended, but there's almost like there's a level of you that thinks like, well, what if that worked out? And I almost feel like there's this need to realize that just because it didn't work out doesn't mean it's not working out for you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I feel like this is actually providing you with what it is you deserve here. But there's a need to let go of this idea that you've lost anything, because I don't think you've lost anything at all. I mean, what is meant for us won't pass us, right? This is Sagittarius' side of the connection here. And oftentimes the universe, places endings in our path so that we can step into a new life. Because this isn't just an ending to a connection. This is the ending to a cycle. This is Sagittarius' side of the connection, please. And it could be a cycle that existed in this connection, but I feel like it's ultimately a cycle that, there's the Hangman and the Star, the Queen of Cups. There's this need to kind of let go and focus on the healing, because I feel like your focus is on the connection, or you're trying to let go of the connection and focus on your healing. And maybe there's this level of being frustrated that you're not able to fully let go of it. And I get that too. Just know that you will. If you're focusing on your healing, you will eventually get to a point where you're able to let go of it. Because you have the Hangman, not the Hangman in reverse. So I do feel like you're trying to let go. You're trying to, allow the universe to do whatever it needs to do. But then you have the Queen of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Magician. I mean, like, I feel like this is a lot of good energy that that's kind of moving toward you, but your focus just needs to continue to be on your healing. This is Sagittarius' side of this connection, because I feel like this connection could be so far in your past that you're actually in a new one. Clarifying Sagittarius' side of the connection. It doesn't have to be. There is the frustration. It's like, okay, so you're frustrated that you're stuck on this. Because, yeah, there's the King of Cups in reverse. Because there's this energy of not being treated very well. And it almost feels like you're having a hard time moving on from this. Like, you don't know why you can't. Can I get clarity on this Temperance in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse? Can I get more on this message? Oh. The Page of Cups, the Moon in reverse, and the Three of Swords in reverse. The only way you're going to be able to move on from this and release it is forgiveness. And when I talk about forgiveness, people think, oh, well, they don't deserve my forgiveness. That person doesn't deserve to be forgiven. Okay, but you deserve your forgiveness of them. Because at the end of the day, the more that you hold on to the pain that someone caused you, the more that you're basically saying, I need you to apologize, or it's almost like you're needing them to validate the pain that they put you through. And on the other note, it's almost like you continue, and not almost is, it is, you continue to have to provide them with power over you. Because this person, I don't feel, treated you well at all with the King of Cups in reverse. I feel like there was manipulation. I don't know if there's betrayal. I ultimately feel like this is like a situation where you weren't treated well. And so you're frustrated that you haven't been able to move on. But I feel like there's this forgiveness that's needed. I want to clarify, I want to make sure, I want to try to confirm that. Clarifying the Three of Swords in reverse. Because again, forgiveness, it's more about you than it is them, and you don't need to forgive them to their face. But you can forgive them within yourself and understand that, yeah, because there's the Emperor in reverse. There was some controlling energy here. So that's kind of the same thing that I was seeing. What does Sagittarius need to forgive? I feel like I'm asking it again. I feel like I've already asked and start getting mad at me. What is Sagittarius needing to forgive? Yeah. Oh. The Emperor in reverse and the Empress in reverse. So this is an interesting message. This isn't just about forgiving them. This is about forgiving yourself too. Because, I will say, when we're in situations where we're not treated well, we often have a tendency to not just put the blame on the other person, but to put the blame on ourselves and say, well, I shouldn't have done this, or I should have walked away, or I should have done that. And there's a need to realize that, like, it almost feels like needing to forgive yourself for not choosing yourself. That's kind of an intense message. Needing to forgive yourself for not choosing yourself. It's not just about forgiving them, because and everyone is a reflection of us. Now, I don't want to get too deep into that concept, because I do feel like a lot of people get mad at me when I talk about this, but oftentimes when we are angry at someone else, there's a little bit of being angry with ourselves. For instance, I was in a fairly emotionally abusive relationship in my past, and for the longest time it was, I hate him, like, I can't believe he treated me that way, blah blah blah. And I realized the whole time I was really holding on to resentment about the fact that I was actually very angry at myself for letting it happen, because I knew the whole time I wasn't being treated well, but I wanted him to change, or whatever the underlying was. I know there were a few things going on with me, but like, I wanted him to change, or I wanted to be the person, who he decided to love and change for, it was an act of me needing, or looking for love where I shouldn't have been. And I'm not saying it was my fault. I'm not sitting here blaming me, but I actually wrote a song about that. And it's coming. I like to play guitar and write songs. I'm not that good, but the song is called Forgiving Me. And the concept of it, and I promise that there's a purpose for me talking about this because the song started playing in my head. The whole concept is forgiving you means forgiving me because I allowed you to treat me that way. And if I'm going to forgive you, then that means that, through forgiving you, I forgive myself, and forgiving me is all I really need to do. And so I really feel like that's a lot of what this reading is talking about, because this is, the ending of this situation. It almost like, it feels like it was so intense that it was like the death of a part of you too. And so this is almost like you're stepping into this powerful change to some sort of abundance here. But let's get this person's energy before I go too down a rabbit hole, because I have no idea what they are thinking or feeling. This is this person's energy towards Sagittarius, please. This person's energy towards Sagittarius, please. There's that same Three of Swords in reverse. They want your forgiveness. But again, you don't have to forgive them to their face. Let me see. Or it's this level of being able to say, I forgive you, but I'm not letting you back in my life. Like, I'm good now. Like, I found my way out, but I don't need you back. Clarifying the Three of Swords in reverse. Now, if you want to forgive them and allow them back into your life, that's kind of up to you. But there's the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This person doesn't have any plans. With the Eight of Cups in reverse, this person doesn't have any plans of giving you what you deserve. There's the Emperor in reverse. They are. This is the controlling energy. They don't look for love in relationships. They tend to look for control. This person's energy towards Sagittarius, please. Interesting that they have the answers you need are coming. And it's funny because when I pulled that compassion card, I didn't feel like they are a compassionate person. I felt like they need to have compassion in a way. In fact, let's clarify. Clarifying this compassion card. Clarifying compassion with the answers you need are coming. Clarifying that message. The King of Pentacles in reverse with the Death card and the Five of Swords. This actually almost feels like the universe is saying, like what this reading is saying, because my intention is not to just have people spy on someone. It's what can I do to help you guys heal? And what I'm seeing here is this is almost like showing compassion for this person would drive them freaking crazy. It's almost like this person, they like having the control over you that they've had. Ooh, I don't like that energy. It's a little slimy. Now I feel like the ending to this connection was because they were trying to protect themselves. That's interesting. Okay, this person's energy towards Sagittarius, please. The Hierophant in reverse. See, that's so interesting. Okay, so the Ten of Cups with the Hierophant in reverse. They don't have a very realistic idea of what this kind of relationship entails. Clarifying this message. the Ten of Wands, because they almost view this, they view it as a burden. They're not looking for the Ten of Cups. And that's typically means that there's something going on, right? I honestly, Sagittarius, I feel like this person is really lost right now. And not like, oh, they're lost without you. Like, they're just lost. They don't know who they are, where they're going. Now, their outside might not portray that. They might actually come off as very confident. They might come off as someone who's very sure of themselves. But I actually feel like deep down, this person doesn't really have any clue. And to be honest, you are better off without them. This is the person Sagittarius is dealing with, side of the connection to Sagittarius. But yeah, there's the Two of Pentacles in reverse. That's exactly what I'm feeling. I mean, this Nine of Pentacles in reverse with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, like they struggle, they overindulge a lot. So that could be in drugs, alcohol, television, work. Like they struggle. I almost feel like could be addiction. Doesn't have to be, but it's almost like this person, they look more for the pleasures of life than the fulfillment when it comes to life. That's what I was feeling with the Hierophant in reverse. Like they look at like happiness and fulfillment, like almost like family, marriage, kids, almost as like a burden. Like they're like, I don't want that. Like I want to continue to be able to be selfish. This person is fairly selfish. I don't want to say here, I'm not trying to bash this person because again, I'm trying to look at this from a few points of view, but I mean, that's why like I felt that energy with the compassion card. Like I didn't feel like, oh, this person has compassion. It feels like in order for this person to find, because they have the answers you need are coming with compassion, in order for this person to find their way, they're going to have to learn to be a little bit more compassionate. And I feel like they don't have that. Now, if they're not able to be compassionate outwardly to other people, they don't know how to be compassionate to themselves. You know, a lot of people think that like people who come off like, I'm not saying this person necessarily needs to be a narcissist, but if that resonates, it resonates. You know, if the shoe fits kind of thing. But you know, often people think that the people being a narcissist are the people who are really full of themselves. Like it's an overinflated sense of self, but it's actually the opposite. It's actually not, they don't know who they are. And so they put on this front of being whoever it is they feel they need to be for whoever's in front of them at the time. And that's why they tend to mold to their victims, as they start to be whoever you want them to be because they don't actually know who they are. Now, I'm not saying this person is a narcissist, but I do feel like this person has controlling tendencies, and that is the way that they tend to control people, is by becoming whoever they need to be for whoever they're in front of at the moment. So that's why I feel like this person doesn't have any idea who they are. Now, this was a big connection for you because this triggered like almost like a spiritual transformation in you. But let's get more. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. I don't want you to be fooled. This person is facing a lot of obstacles when it comes to their happiness. You know, they might look happy. I don't know if you're, you know, looking at them on social media or whatever the case is. They might look like they're happy, but they're not. They're facing a lot of obstacles. First of all, I mean, this Two of Cups in reverse, it's like they're completely disconnected from themselves emotionally. I can like feel this person's brain, and it just feels like like I don't like the way it feels. It's interesting because this started out as like, I mean, obviously I was gonna do like energy toward the connection, right? But it's almost like this is their energy, like because this connection feels like it's very far in your past. So I almost feel like it doesn't have there almost is no connection between these two people. Like there is, because there's still a lot to learn from it, but it almost feels like an active connection between these two people doesn't exist. This is this person's energy towards Sagittarius. Yeah, this person plays it safe in every area of their life. Like, meaning they tend to choose, because the Three of Wands in reverse with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, they tend to choose situations, people, jobs that fit their ego and not really um their fulfillment. They're not, it's like they're not interested in fulfillment. They're interested in almost like material ego things. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. And maybe that's what, like, it's like maybe you wanted to settle down. Like maybe you had the unconditional love to give, and to them, that's like, that's real. First of all, it triggers their inability to give and receive love. So whether or not they're consciously aware of that, because remember, 95% of our beliefs and interaction with our environment happens, within. So it feels like first and foremost, they there's that aspect of it. But then on top of that, they view what you want almost as like playing it safe, like that level of, like, they want it but they don't. I don't know how to explain that other than that. They want it but they don't. Like, it's almost like, because they're not looking for fulfillment. They're not looking for love. They're looking for what makes them feel good about themselves, like ego wise. Like what inflates their ego, not what fulfills their soul. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. Yeah, this person's got an ego on them, Sagittarius. They see you as an opportunity for their Ten of Cups. But it's almost like there could be this level of this person like keeping you on the back burner, which, first of all, no. No. And I feel like maybe that's where the boundaries need to happen, where you're like, no, I'm not a second choice. I'm not a third, fourth, fifth choice. I am, you choose me or you don't. Um, because that's what this feels like. It feels like they're kind of keeping you on the back burner. Maybe they're like, oh, well, when I'm ready, then, I'll be able to settle down with Sagittarius, or then I'll be able to have a connection with Sagittarius. No. I mean, by that point, you're going to be long gone. You're going to be moved on into your new life. You have new life. Because you have expect powerful change and abundance. I don't feel like that talks about in between this connection. I feel like this is like the tables turning in your favor almost. But let's see. We're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to pull 9 different messages here for the truth of this connection. I have an advice card to pull for you guys at the end. Thank you so much, as always, for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me. I hope that this reading helped and resonated in the way that you are needing today. And I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journeys. Bye, Sagittarius.